Hey guys, Magnus here, bringing you another video. This one we're going to be doing a video I promised when I did my review for the Serfsons tie-in. Now, just want a quick little update. We didn't get an update today, and I probably should have read the source text before I did my ideas video, the in-app source. But it talks about magic and stuff. So this stuff really could possibly still come in if they're going to do like a magic story or something. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, so I've kind of gone through. I've got like screenshots of all the stuff they could have added in this little episode tie-in. Now there isn't loads and loads of stuff they could have added, but there is a fair. Actually, no, there is quite a fair bit of stuff. Not, I wouldn't say it's as bad as the Great Fatsby, because the Great Fatsby had quite a lot of stuff it could have added, but this did have a fair bit. But the 22 for 30 episode tie-in, that had barely anything it really could have added. But this has quite a lot. So we'll first go with characters, because that's usually the thing that, well, at least the thing I like the best. So there's this Ice Walker. Now, of course, he's kind of a parody of the Game of Thrones Night King, so there might be an issue adding that anyway. With the gelatin cube. Big gelatin cube. They could have added this again, product placement. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's a reference to some sort of thing. I'm not really too educated on that, but whatever it is, they could have added him possibly if they could have got around it. But here's probably the best characters, which I think they could have added. Now, George R. R. Martin's the first one again. It's another one where, if he didn't want to be in the game, then he probably wouldn't be in the game. But if he was cool with being in the game, and he seems like the kind of guy who'd be fine with that. So that would have been a really, really cool cameo. We have Markery. So Markery is actually Marge's in the skit anyway, in the story he's Marge's twin brother, sorry, and she wants to marry him, or she was going to marry him, and then she obviously met Homer. So that could have been an interesting character they could have brought in, I guess. This actually is in order of what I would have liked, actually, because the Ice Walker, apart from the Ice Walker's probably like number one, but like this one I'm really not bothered about. This one would have been really cool. He would have been cooler. And then there's the Messenger Bird. Now I think this would have been a nice little NPC they could have added, because it's like it was used, to basically prank call on Mo. And then I've put some more of these tree stash people. Now the tree stash, actually there wasn't just the tree stash. There was this one with a very bushy stash, and this one with a full-grown beard and stash. So they could have. And this guy was the only one who had words. It's really odd that they added the one at the back who we didn't even see. Like we didn't even he didn't talk. This guy talked, which is weird. So we got that one, but it's possible that from that Serfsons we could be getting more characters. Of course, he is the only one in that category, and it seems a bit weird to make a category just for that, so it could be possible we're getting some more. And then we have Aslan. So Aslan is this Christian, he's trying to basically convert everyone to Protestant. I think yeah, it's Protestant. He's trying to make everyone Protestant. I'm pretty sure. I think, or I don't know, or maybe I don't know, or whatever. But obviously, it's just like the sort of relaxed guy. I'm really surprised they didn't add him as a playable character, because I think that could have worked perfectly. And then the one character that I think would have been way cooler as an NPC is, of course, the dragon. So the big dragon at the end, where they have the fight, I don't understand why we don't have the dragon as an NPC, because that would have been far cooler than the trees with the mustaches. Maybe we might be getting it. It could be a potential for Halloween, but it's a really odd thing to give us for Halloween, because this isn't a Halloween episode. This is a well, it's just a magic episode, so it would be weird if they did that, but I would be kind of okay with it though, because I know that there isn't a ton of stuff in the Treehouse of Horror anyway, so yeah. But that's all the characters then. That's probably the coolest thing, the one I might find most interesting. So let's go to buildings. So there's quite a few buildings. We have 3 pages of buildings, so bear with me. So first of all, we have the castle kind of walls, and also the wall around it. Now this right here is the smelling tower, but this stuff here is like the castle walls, and these are like the lower walls with all the heads. Would have been maybe cool if we got this wall as a decoration with all the heads, and then we got this the smelling tower is a bit bigger, and it actually had these castle walls around it. That would have been kind of cool, but I'm not too bothered about that. But it would have been cool to get the severed heads actually. And then we have Moe's. So this is just like an old Moe's. And of course here you can see George R. R. Martin. But yeah, this is just like an old Moe's. would have been cool to get that as well. Maybe as a skin, or just as an... actually, a skin would have been really, really cool, but even as a separate building, I would have been okay with. We have the webs. Now, this is where, like, this is the, I guess, the equivalent to the retirement home, because all the old people basically wrapped up and hanging upside down, like, well, webbed prey. That's pretty interesting. We have Sir Duncan's Dode Nuggets, whatever the heck that is, just another building. We have Rural Outfitters, we have the Mill, and here we have the Springfieldia Human Power Plant. So this is really, really interesting. This, of course, would be... I think this would have been an awesome building as well. Maybe they could have just walled it off and had it like that. It would have been awesome to have. Yeah, and then I guess one that would have been kind of made more sense for the story, the building we saw the most, which of course is the Simpsons family home, or should I say the Serfsons family home. Yeah, they're called Serfsons, aren't they? Homer Serfson. But yeah, so the Serfsons family home. It would have been kind of cool to get this in the game. I think, you know, it's not a particularly most interesting building, but it was quite central to the story. So, you know. Anyway, moving on. There's quite a lot of buildings, like I said. So first of all, we had the Barber Hibbert's surgery. This is essentially the medical, or the hospital, I guess. We have the urban outhouses. Obviously, a giant toilet. We have weapons and armor, which is something they break into to get stuff. We have Hyborian apparel. I'm sorry. Yeah, whatever. We have Victorian Secret, which is a hilariously unfunny parody, but whatever. I think they had Victor's Secret. I think that was funnier. Whatever. Victoria's Secret, they could always Victorian's Secret, they could always have that. And then we have the Banana Monarchy, we have Fool Locker, and we have I can't actually read that, but if you guys can make that out what that writing is, then that as well. And then we have Barnes and Robles, is it? Which is another store, and then of course another store I would have building even that I think should have been added is the Amulet Hamlet, which of course is where they get the amulet, and that plays a key moment in the story. But again, it is completely possible these buildings will be added anyway, so we'll see. And then next up we have the Apple Store, which I just think is brilliant. Like, I want to see this. Come on. We have the Coldstone Screamery. It's like a torture zone, I guess, or maybe it's some sort of sexual shop, I'm not too sure. We have Squaler, I'm presuming this is Squaler Trailer, I'm not too sure though, it might be something else, but whatever that is, they could have added that. And King Lutz, which I think just, I mean, that's it. We saw it briefly, but it's such cool, it just looks so cool. And then we have the Tannery, yeah, just a tannery there. Anyway, so that's all the buildings, quite a lot of buildings there. I mean, loads of buildings. So this would really help in terms of, like, I wouldn't be completely annoyed if they were to do this entire episode. I would expect a little bit more, obviously, but if they were to do part, like maybe even an act, or yeah, just an act was all to do with this episode, I would be pretty happy with that, because there is a lot of really cool-ish buildings, especially King Lutz. Anyway, moving on. We have some costumes. Now, I didn't get all the costumes. There is probably, if you want to be picky, you could probably get one for all the kind of background characters and stuff. I just went for the sort of the ones that either were most common or the ones that stood out. So, of course, first of all, I just thought I'd get the Simpsons one out of the way. Obviously, the Serfsons, just Homer Serfson, Marge Serfson, and then, of course, Jacqueline, I'm presuming, Bouvier? I don't know. It depends what second name she has, but it would have been really cool to get these costumes, especially one for Jacqueline, because I swear we often don't have an episode with her, and I like how they've brought her out a little bit, although it was obviously like a story within a story. It's nice to get her character a little bit out, because honestly, that's my thing. I think The Simpsons could actually do a lot better if they brought out smaller characters and fleshed them out more, and they did more episodes where they focused on more characters instead of constantly seeing the Simpsons family. I know it's about them, but explore a little bit out the box is what I say. Anyway, moving on, we have the of course this is Email and Hussein or something like that. Those two kids, obviously could have been added. That would have been interesting if they were to add them into this thing, but there's a costume for them as well. And of course the main costume I was kind of pointing to, oh, of course here's also a report card. But yeah, we've got Database and Martin. But yeah, of course the main costume I was talking about here is the King Quimby, for Quimby, of course. That would be an okay costume. I wouldn't have been too happy, but whatever. And then let's just get on to the probably the coolest costume that we could have got was this one for Willy, where he's just this like massive goblin looking thing and he's torturing people to do work. That would have been interesting. We have the wizards, so we have Frink, we have Arpu, and we have Superintendent Chalmers. Again, these three costumes would have been okay, pretty interesting. Then we have the one for McBain, maybe him on the horse as well, or they could have had, technically they could have the horse separately if they must, but just him on the horse would have been awesome. Like that costume just puts him on a horse and he just like kind of gallops around. That would be a really, really cool thing. And then we have one for Duffman. It's kind of like robot thing. I think there's a reference there, but I don't really know what it is. We have Wiggum, which would have been a pretty cool one, and of course Kirk. Yeah, and I think I may have missed out Millhouse. Okay, hang on. Okay, there was also a costume for Millhouse, but for some weird reason it's not here. But yeah, there was one for Millhouse as well, which looked similar to the one for Kirk. If you guys watch the episodes, you know what I'm talking about. Basically, yeah, there's like a smaller version of this, but it's actually Millhouse. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, I forgot about that one. So just a few decorations really. I didn't really pick up any more. I mean, they could if they wanted. I'm sure they can find a lot of stuff, but okay, so we have, first of all, we have the statue of King Mitofin, the statue worthy, whatever the heck that is. They could have given us that. That would have been interesting. We have court reading, it's like a torture thing, a torture device in town. That would have been interesting. We have the filth wagon, maybe with the horse. Raphael was here, so he was delivering stuff there. That would have been an interesting, like, little cart thing we could have had. We of course have this hanging. This woman hanging. I know we've got like a similar. Actually, no, we do. Do we have? Oh, yeah, we have a few from the Pirate Act of the Traveling Toaster. But yeah, they could give us this, I guess. We have the dwarf cage, which Mars obviously is, taking a dwarf to cook or something. I'm not even too sure. Sacrifice. I forget exactly what it is. And then we have this Tephra ball with this, spiked thing that Bart was using with the Millhouse goblin looking things. So yeah, that would have been an interesting decoration as well. So not too many decorations actually. I couldn't pick out any more. At least I didn't see. There probably is some other little random stuff they could have added. But these are the ones I got it anyway. So anyway, that is the entire video. That's pretty much everything they could have added. That would have been interesting anyway. I mean, if they really wanted to, they could have obviously, like, for example here, the bullies with the different costumes. If they really wanted to scrape the bottom of the barrel, they could do that. But I think that's probably the majority of the stuff, the most interesting stuff. And I am kind of disappointed that we didn't get both Aslan and the dragon. Like, they would have been two really, really cool things to get, and they would have definitely been made total more sense. So I'm hoping that we do get this stuff in Halloween, because it is possible. They do seem to be hinting at something magic, but it is always possible they were actually hinting at this episode tie-in, because it's all about magic and stuff. And the Tap Out team obviously would have known about that episode, so it is entirely possible that text is talking about this little update and referring to this little update. But whatever, we'll see. Well, the episode time that we just got. But anyway, that's all the stuff they could have added. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoy these ones. These ones are actually ones I really look forward to actually doing, because I look forward to watching the episode and actually trying to find different buildings they could have added and do their job for. No, I'm joking. But yeah, just see what else they could have added. I really enjoy these videos, and I think you guys probably do as well, as you seem to do. The few who watch. But yeah, I shall see you anyway next video. Thanks for watching.